Prime Minister weighs in on Canadian-American trade tensions. Help arrives for fire crews battling blazes in the north. And a group of Wayburn movie lovers team up to bring a theater back to the city.
Live from our studios in Regina, this is CTV News.
Good evening and thank you for watching. Lee is away tonight. At the height of U.S.-Canadian trade tensions, a former prime minister is lending his voice on the relationship between the two nations. Stephen Harper in Saskatoon today giving his point of view to a delegation of Canadian and American leaders. Laura Woodward reports.
Taking center stage at the Midwestern Legislative Conference in Saskatoon, former Prime Minister Stephen Harper addressed a room full of policymakers from 11 American states and 4 Canadian provinces, sharing personal stories about his time in politics, not mincing words about Russian President Vladimir Putin.
Like, Vladimir Putin is a real-life Bond villain. Like, he really is. He was very good at sizing up people's weaknesses and exploiting them and getting them to think he was on their side when he wasn't. I watched this over and over again with this guy.
But the main focus of his speech, Canada's tense relationship with the United States.
This government did actually ask me a few weeks ago my advice.
Harper revealing that Ottawa recently turned to him for guidance on how to handle escalating tensions with the United States.
My advice was, yes, on the economy, we've got to kind of get something short-term worked out with the Trump administration, but this really is a wake-up call for this country to truly diversify its trade export markets.
CTV News reached out to the federal government for comment about contacting Harper, but did not hear back by the time of broadcast. Saskatchewan Premier Scott Moe supports Harper's call for trade diversification, backing the idea of more international customers.
In addition to accessing the rest of the world, access Canadian markets as well. We might be a little bit contrary to public opinion. We think we should be increasing our trade with the United States of America as well, moving forward, but by producing more.
And the clock is ticking. Canada remains under the threat of a 35% tariff on exports unless a new trade deal can be reached by U.S. President Donald Trump's deadline of August 1st. Laura Woodward, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Regina police have charged 2 people in connection with the city's 8th homicide of 2025. The investigation spawning on the 1500 block of Cammon Street Friday, where a woman's body was discovered. She was pronounced dead on scene and identified as 42-year-old Stephanie Cody. As a result, 39-year-old Lyle Turcott has been charged with second-degree murder, while 39-year-old Brandy Schill with accessory after the fact. Both accused made their first court appearances this morning. A heavy police presence in Yorkton this afternoon. Yorkton RCMP asking residents to avoid the area around Madge Way as officers investigated, but has since cleared. Few details are being released at this time, but police say there will be an update when available. The Moose Jaw Police Service has found their new police chief. Robert Davis has been appointed chief of police. Davis comes to the province from Brantford, Ontario, where he previously served as chief for that city's police service, adding 34 years of experience to boot in law enforcement. His appointment comes 5 months after former police chief Rick Barassa retired.
I want to reaffirm my commitment to the department, to building new relationships and listening to the voices of the community. I'm also dedicated to working collaboratively to help ensure that Moose Jaw remains a safe and welcoming place for all.
Davis will formally be sworn in and begin his duties at the end of August. After putting the call out to the federal government last week, Canadian Army personnel have arrived on the front lines of Saskatchewan's firefight. Now a wildfire emergency alert remains in place for Prince Albert National Park, where the bullfire is burning on the northern boundary just 4 kilometers from the resort subdivision of Ramsey Bay. And it comes as the province faces a record year for dealing with the wildfire smoke.
Prince Albert and Regina were already at our second smokiest year on record so far. Saskatoon is already 3rd smokiest year on record so far. And this is still with, a few days of July, the entire month of August, the entire month of September to go.
We should have more details on the wildfire situation later on in the show. So let's bring in Sabine. So now we bring in Sabine Ahmed for. I'm not used to that, not being on the 6 very often. So I'll give myself a little bit of grace for sure. But Sabine, the warm temperatures really started on Friday, continued for the weekend and into today. What exactly did Regina and area see today?
Well, we saw air quality warnings in the afternoon, Donovan, but fortunately we're slowly starting to see those lift. We have seen them lift out of the Regina area, still affecting the southeast and into the Parkland, which hopefully we will start to see gradually lift as we head into this evening and into the morning of tomorrow. Now, in terms of active weather, haven't really seen much in terms of rain. Can see a little bit of that coming through on the radar satellite over the last couple of hours. There is rain expected in the forecast. You can see that yellow shading in Alberta. The system in Alberta will be making its way into southwest Saskatchewan and mostly sticking along the southern border. So I'll talk more about the rain coming up in your forecast, but temperatures for southern Saskatchewan anyway have been within that average range. The average, of course, is about 26 degrees. We got up to 25 late this afternoon, and we'll continue to stay within that range for most of this week, but I will have details coming up in your forecast. Donovan?
All right, thanks, Sabine. We'll check in with you a little bit later. The city of Wayburn has been without a movie theater in the community since its historic venue closed in 2018. But now, those who have missed a night out at the movies are coming together to build a brand new one. Waymantika explains.
A new movie theater in Wayburn is rising on the site of the old one. It's something that the community has missed.
The community's youth really felt like they were missing out on the experience, and they started the initiative to push this to get it done. So since then, we formed the cooperative. We feel the cooperative model was the perfect way to do this for a community our size.
The previous Sioux Theater closed in 2018, and the building was demolished. Wayburn formed a cooperative to raise the funds needed for a community-operated replacement. It will feature 2 screens to accommodate 80 patrons on each side.
Naturally, the big challenges we've had is that as we're working on this, inflation is affecting us the same as everybody else. The costs rise as we chase those goalposts.
Over half the $3 million fundraising goal has already been achieved through community and service club donations. The Wayburn Young Fellows have committed $250,000.
We felt like the lack of a movie theater was very impacting for our youth and our local economy, not having that draw, not having that ability to attract professionals to come and work in the community because there's no movie theater for their kids to go to.
The community hopes it can keep the final cost at $4.8 million. The fundraising goal will remain at $3 million. Anything above that will be financed through a loan. Wayne Mantika, CTV News, Wayburn.
Organization aiming to fight against racism is launching a Regina chapter known as MABIC, the Movement Against Black Injustice in Canada, founded in 2020, with the aim of raising awareness of varying injustices and enlighten the community about their rights as Canadians, and to create a more just and fair Canada for future generations of Black Canadians.
It is important for us to launch it because we have seen many rising cases of injustice among the blacks, being reported cases, and one of them, some of them, is because they are not aware of their rights. And at some situation, we believe that you can cop some things at the beginning before it gets overbloated. So what we are trying to do is to create awareness for people that this type of organization exists here.
The organization also works with mental health groups across the country to provide resources for Black Canadians who may be dealing with stress or depression. Regina police are highlighting bike safety as the summer hits the full swing in the city. The initiative hopes to inform residents of different rules and regulations, as well as safety tips for parents bike riding with their kids across Regina. RPS says frequent collisions involving pedestrians and bicycles in the city is increasing the importance at this time of year.
You have to go slow and stop when you see a stop sign and use your helmet every time.
We're looking for safety. We see a lot of collisions involving pedestrians and bicycles in this city, and a lot of injuries happen with those collisions. So we want to make sure everybody understands and everybody slows down, everybody respects each other's space, and that we have safer roadways.
Bicyclists also able to bring in their bikes for different repairs, keeping them road ready. Still ahead, a deadline looms for Prime Minister Mark Carney to reach a trade deal with the U.S. president. And could Canada soon recognize Palestine as a sovereign state? We return now to the latest in our province's wildfire fight as the Canadian Army has now arrived on the front lines. Jasmine Pelchier has the story.
After a difficult month for the community, Beauval Mayor Rick LaLiberty is able to share some good news.
We're inviting people to come back home. Beauval has survived the fire. We're just happy we survived the fire, and but there are other communities that are still being threatened.
Community members with medical concerns remain evacuated until August 6th. LaLiberty says that military assistance arrived in the area Monday afternoon.
There's military personnel. We have people from Quebec. We have people from Ontario, Mexico, Australia, and it's an active fire base.
An update Monday afternoon says the SPSA is responding to 11 active evacuations. There have been 31 so far this year, well above the 5-year average of 2 evacuations. There are closures along Highway 165 near Beauval due to wildfire and smoke. The Provincial Highway Hotline says more sections of Highway 165 will be open Tuesday morning between 5 and 8 a.m. With several months of wildfire season to go, Environment Canada says it could end up being the smokiest year on record for Saskatchewan's major cities.
Prince Albert and Regina were already at our second smokiest year on record so far. Saskatoon is already third smokiest year on record so far.
As of Monday afternoon, there remains active air quality advisories across much of central and southeast Saskatchewan. As of this afternoon, there are 59 wildfires in the province, 11 uncontained. There have been a total 404 wildfires in Saskatchewan this year. Jasmine Pelchier, CTV News, Prince Albert.
With U.S. President Donald Trump threatening tariffs as high as 50%, the time is ticking for Canada to reach a new agreement with their southern trading partner. And as CTV's Abigail Beeman explains, the countdown is on to get a deal done.
And we're giving Canada's Prime Minister and the American President were both visiting islands and talking trade. Donald Trump in Scotland musing about baseline world tariffs.
I just want to be nice. I would say in the range of 15 to 20%.
The negotiations are at a intense phase. It's a complex negotiation.
While on Prince Edward Island, Mark Carney repeated in French that a deal with no tariffs is unlikely.
We're standing up for Canada, Canadian interests. Of course, the United States is looking out, the President's looking out for the interests of American workers. There is a landing zone that's possible, but we have to get there.
There appears to be a backing away from the tariff for tariff, elbows up sort of combative tone.
Former Foreign Affairs Minister Peter MacKay feels we may not get the kind of deal we want.
Donald Trump has really had his way with many countries, and they are coming to heel and rolling around like kittens on a couch.
While Ontario's premier still hopes Canada is treated differently.
A tariff on Canadians is a tax on Americans. Prices will go up.
It's not the kind of recession-inducing shock that 25% on literally everything would have been.
This University of Calgary economist says a 15% baseline tariff on non-CUSMA compliant goods would still be a net negative for the Canadian economy. But it's important to focus on the bigger picture, what happens with CUSMA down the line.
That's a much more important potential shock to the economy than a 15% baseline with an exemption for trade agreement compliant exports.
Trump's trade deal deadline is Friday, with the Prime Minister saying Canada is still engaged in negotiations. Mark Carney stressing Canada is also already a big investor in the United States as we watch other countries sign deals that require major financial commitments. Abigail Beeman, CTV News, Ottawa.
The RCP and Transportation Safety Board are investigating a plane crash which killed 2 men in Newfoundland and Labrador this weekend. The small plane going down near the Deer Lake Airport on the west coast of Newfoundland Saturday evening. Officials say the aircraft crashing just 3 minutes after takeoff. The names of the 54-year-old pilot and 27-year-old passenger have not been released, and investigators say they are continuing to assist with security, preserving evidence, and ensuring public safety. Dramatic footage of a maritime rescue in Labrador last week after a sailor had not been heard from in a number of days. A good news ending for a challenging exercise for all involved in the emergency response. CTV's Jody Cook has this story.
Hovered about a quarter mile away so that we could have good visual.
There's a clearer picture on just how precarious and challenging rescues at sea off of our coast can be.
So sailing boats offer a pretty unusual challenge for us to hoist to.
Footage uploaded to YouTube now sheds light on one such rescue, an experience shared on camera by Matt from 103, Search and Rescue Squadron in Gander. It takes the viewer to the scene of a sailor's rescue last week after he set out from Quebec on a solo journey to Greenland and then vanished from communications off the southeast coast of Labrador.
We had a good plan, taking into consideration that the biggest hazard was the mast of the sailboat that was moving a lot. So with that, we decided to stay away from the boat and actually have the patient jump in the water. So I got hoisted down as close as we could get me without being too close from the mast.
The roughly 20-foot sailboat had just a crew of 1, its electronic systems failing, and rescue officials were dispatched when family hadn't heard from the man in days. A passing cargo ship was able to pinpoint the sailor. That's when 103 SAR Rescue Resources moved in, effecting a hoist in just minutes. Last Wednesday, the man was brought out of harm's way. But the Canadian Coast Guard also sent a message reminding mariners to think twice before venturing into open ocean and to ensure preparedness. Gander's 103 Search and Rescue Squadron is responsible for a massive jurisdiction. They cover all of the lower Arctic, all of the maritime provinces and Newfoundland and Labrador, as well as all offshore waters in the region. Jody Cook, CTV News.
President Trump says he's disappointed with Russian President Vladimir Putin and is now moving up a deadline for a ceasefire in Ukraine.
I'm going to make a new deadline of about 10 or 12 days from today. No reason in waiting. There's no reason in waiting. It's 50 days. I want to be generous, but we just don't see any progress being made.
Trump had set a 50-day deadline earlier this month, but has repeatedly expressed frustration with Putin for continuing his attacks on Ukraine. The U.S. president is now threatening to impose further sanctions if no deal with Russia is reached. And more Liberal MPs are calling on our country to officially recognize Palestinian statehood. And it comes after French President Emmanuel Macron announced his country's plans to do so beginning this month. And as the White House takes a stronger stance on humanitarian conditions in Gaza. CTV's Colton Prail has the latest.
Canada's Foreign Affairs Minister says the idea of peace in the Middle East feels more distant and that a pathway to peace requires Palestinian statehood. But Canada doesn't appear to be any closer to recognizing it.
Je vous remercie.
At a special United Nations meeting focused on a two-state solution in the Middle East, Anita Anand reinforced the country's long-standing position.
Canada believes a two-state solution remains the only viable path to lasting peace for both Palestinians and Israelis.
When asked today whether Canada would join countries like France in plans to officially recognize a Palestinian state, the Prime Minister didn't directly answer the question. It comes as the Liberal leader is facing increasing calls to do so from members of his own party.
Finally taking the critical step towards realizing a two-state solution to peace in the Middle East, recognizing a free and independent state of Palestine.
Sunday, BC MP Will Greaves joining social media calls from fellow Liberal MPs Salma Zahid and Fares Al-Soud to recognize a Palestinian state. Meanwhile, as humanitarian aid trickles back into Gaza, Donald Trump is pushing back on the Israeli assertion that starvation was not occurring in the enclave.
Food, we can save a lot of people. I mean, some of those kids that's real starvation stuff. I see it, and you can't fake that.
The Prime Minister says Canada has trucks of aid at the Jordanian border, pre-positioned to enter Gaza, but that had been prevented from doing so.
He added that he'll take steps to advance a two-state solution, but one that doesn't include any element of Hamas and Palestinian leadership. Colton Prale, CTV News, Ottawa.
Thailand and Cambodia have agreed to a ceasefire after 5 days of clashes along their shared border.
This is a vital first step towards a de-escalation and the restoration of peace and security.
Officials from both countries will meet to further de-escalate tensions at the border, with Malaysia acting as an intermediary, and work to develop a detailed plan to maintain peace. This year marks the 45th anniversary of Terry Fox's Marathon of Hope. As part of the year-long celebration, a new children's book is being released, sharing Terry's story with the next generation.
A is for adventure. Terry Fox had an older brother, younger brother, and little sister. It was always an adventure when they played together. B is for basketball. Terry loved all kinds of sports, especially basketball. He worked hard to be a good player.
That's author Denise Diaz reading her book, T is for Terry, an ABC of courage, to a group of parents and to kids. She says the book chronicles Fox's life from his childhood throughout his Marathon of Hope in the 1980s. The book was written in partnership with the Fox family, and royalties will be donated directly to the Terry Fox Foundation. Since its inception, the foundation has raised more than $900 million for cancer research.
Coming up, the story of how one Ukrainian refugee is bringing women together, providing a safe space through dance.
Attention anglers, it's time to modify your technique. Midsummer fishing can be a little finicky. That's why we've got expert Jason Matity in studio to teach you a new way.
News, weather, and traffic. It's everything you need. CTV Morning Live, weekdays 6 to 9.
We're going to take a look at your forecast heading into the rest of this week. Still looking a little smoky, hazy out there in Regina, but the good news is, of course, the air quality warnings have lifted. Current temperature sitting at 23 degrees. We did warm up to about 25 late this afternoon, and the winds haven't been too bad. Currently sitting at about 20 kilometers an hour. We did see them gusting up to about 30, 35 late this afternoon, but now they've come back down. No wind gusts in sight for the evening, at least. That could change as we head into tomorrow. In terms of active weather, didn't really see much happening when it comes to rain or anything like that. However, the watches and warnings that we are seeing in Alberta, we could start to see the effects of that coming into the southwest, and I'll show you that right now as we take a look at our tracker. So it is a system that we're seeing kind of coming in from the southwest area, southeast of Alberta, and that system eventually could make its way into southwest Saskatchewan, Swift Current, Maple Creek area by tomorrow, early morning tomorrow. And it does look like the bulk of that rain, the largest amount, will fall into the Swift Current, Assiniboia area. Once that system's completely cleared out of Saskatchewan, could leave behind anywhere between 20 to 25 millimeters of rain for Assiniboia, Swift Current. And then as the system continues making its way over into Wayburn, Estevan, could see anywhere between 10 to 15 millimeters of rain once the system's completely cleared out. There is a slight chance we could see some rain in the Regina area in the morning, but again, a slight chance of scattered showers. And then as we head into the rest of your week, not a whole lot going on. We're going to see mostly sunny conditions for southern Saskatchewan up until we get into Thursday. Slight chance the Parkland could see a little bit of rain Wednesday evening. And then as we continue into the rest of your week, reaching into Friday, mostly sunny conditions. Slight chance we could see some showers arrive by Friday. And the weekend is looking a little rainy, and I'll show you that in your 7-day forecast. But temperatures continuing to be within a couple of degrees of what our average is. Much cooler for the lows in the north, though. Prince Albert dropping to 4 degrees tonight, 6 degrees in La Loche, 9 for La Ronge, and 8 degrees for Lloydminster. The average around this time of year is about 11, 12 degrees. So a little cooler tonight for many parts of the province. 6 for Yorkton and North Battleford tonight, and Saskatoon dipping to 9. And then again, the average is about 26 for daytime highs. So we'll be within a couple of degrees of that. And Maple Creek getting right into that range tomorrow. 26, a mix of sun and cloud. Tonight could see some activity with that risk of thunderstorm, more so in the early morning hours of tomorrow, like that 3 o'clock timestamp we saw on the tracker. But again, we'll continue to see the showers mostly in southern Saskatchewan, closer to the southern border. Wayburn seeing some showers tonight into tomorrow. Much of the southeast expecting to get around the 23-degree mark for the daytime high. And so will Regina. Tonight, within average, 12 degrees with the winds up to 25 kilometers an hour. And into tomorrow, 23 with a mix of sun and cloud, with a very, very, very slight chance that we could see some scattered showers first thing in the morning. But then as you take a look at the 7-day forecast, not too bad for the rest of the week. 23 and a mix of sun and cloud tomorrow, sunny and 25 on Wednesday, and sunny and 28 on Thursday. So we'll continue to see those temperatures gradually rise to the average, just above average by Thursday, and then slowly coming back down to Friday. 26, mainly sunny. The only thing to note on Friday is that we could see those wind gusts up to about 50 kilometers an hour. So a windy, sunny, average day expected on Friday. And then I hate to be the bearer of bad news for some of you, but we will have a rainy weekend ahead. I know many places still need that rain, still need the moisture, but 26 and rain expected Saturday with some stronger wind gusts expected as well. Sunday, scattered showers, 26, and then to start your work week, slight chance of seeing some showers arrive by Monday afternoon, but 25 degrees expected to be the daytime high. So Donovan, we are still back into that average range when it comes to daytime highs. A very nice week ahead, just a rainy weekend also.
And the early morning thunderstorms never really hurt anybody, but you've now been warned if you're getting ready for work tomorrow.
Well, yeah, maybe take a jacket with you if you need it, but also it's a nice way to a cool morning, because then we're going to have another pretty seasonal day ahead of us.
And I know at least one person who's going to be a little bit sad about the rain on Saturday.
Who's that?
Ariel.
Oh, no. Well,
okay.
we've got time. Things change in Saskatchewan. Between now and then, that could also change.
All right. Well, we'll hope for that. Thanks so much, Sabine.
You bet.
Well, with the population of Ukrainian refugees fleeing Russia continuing to rise in Canada, one success story. One woman in Ottawa who fled her home country in 2022 is celebrating the success of her dance studio. CTV's Natalie Van Roy with the story of how it's providing a community for dancers of all backgrounds.
For Anastasia Kolakova, this dance studio is a dream come true. The Ukrainian refugee fled her war-torn country about 3 years ago.
I came here, I had only $100, and I was like, oh my God, what I have to do? And I have son 3 years old. I tap dance in Ukraine for 11 years, and I was like, okay, maybe I can try to start to run dance classes.
After arriving in Ottawa, Kolakova started offering dance classes, a safe space for other like-minded women.
I was basically living on the mode of survival, to pay rent, to eat something, to work, to send money back to Ukraine to my family. And then I found this space, and it actually, it brought me back to life.
After offering classes for months in other spaces, Kolakova opened this new studio in the Centertown neighborhood. It's called Lady Space. The class is meant to boost confidence.
We usually wear high heels but it's optional, of course. The most important goal is to come here and enjoy our body.
People from all backgrounds come here for different reasons, like Nora Lacasse putting in work before a competition.
To prep for my walk, as you know, in pageantry, you're walking in big heels, and it's very important you master that walk, but also to empower myself and my confidence.
With classes held here nearly every day, Kolakova is hoping to expand her work to other cities like Toronto and Montreal. Natalie Van Roy, CTV News.
Riders have found themselves atop the league standings once again, but is their play Grey Cup standard? Stay with us. The answer at CTV News continues. Wardrobe consideration in part by Colin O'Brien Men's Shop.
The Canada Games are set to start in Newfoundland and Labrador and are under 2 weeks away as athletes representing our province are going for gold against the best in the country. Jacob Carr has more.
Representing Team Sask, swimming, Cassius Cape Tucker.
Team Saskatchewan athletes strutted their stuff on Monday morning, showing off the new gear that they will be sporting at the upcoming Canada Games. From baseball to swimming to basketball to canoe and kayaking, Saskatchewan will be well represented on the national stage.
Like, we're small, but we're mighty. And you see that in so many areas. And, you know, we've had so many successful athletes coming out of our province if we're focusing on the sports. And how can you help but not be proud of them and proud of Saskatchewan?
The team's flag bearer was also announced at the event. The honor is going to Regina's Hayden Cott.
I'm thrilled to announce that the dual sport athlete Hayden Cott will be our opening ceremony.
So I went and hugged my volleyball coach because I knew she nominated me, and then I went and told my mom and my sister who were there watching me, and it was just a very heartfelt moment. I didn't believe it. It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity going to Canada Games, yet alone being named the flag bearer.
Cott will spend the first week of the games competing in basketball before making the switch to volleyball in week 2. She says it's tough to choose which sport she is looking forward to more.
They're two totally different sports, and they have totally different dynamics, which I also love. But I both have such tight groups with them and communities, so I'm just excited for both of them.
For Greg Perreault, this year's games will be his first as the chef de mission for Team Saskatchewan. He says the best part of the games as a volunteer are taking part in the opening ceremonies and seeing the athletes succeed.
I think that's why we do this as volunteers and staff, is to really feel that experience for 3 weeks and be a part of just all the emotions up and down that happen during the games. So.
The games run from August 9th to the 25th. Jacob Carr, CTV News, Regina.
The Saskatchewan Roughriders are once again atop the CFL's West Division after defeating the Elks 21-18 Friday night in Mazak.
This is downfield. Here comes Saskatchewan again. And that one to Emilus. 10, 5, touchdown. Just got to the pylon.
Harris stellar again with 25 completions, 268 yards passing, and 2 touchdowns, but the offense sputtering down the stretch with 4 straight drives, ending on punts to end the ball game, and Edmonton scoring 14 unanswered points in the fourth quarter.
There's obviously some positive things to take away, but I'm sure you guys could probably guess that I'm not happy with the way that we finished the game offensively. You know, if you want to be a championship caliber team, you've got to put the nail in the coffin, and we didn't do that.
Our kind of performance to this point, you know what I mean? I thought there were, again, a time for us to kind of put it away, and then just bad timing as far as, you know, things that happen for us. But again, man, we'll keep pushing and training through these kind of things, and we can do it with a win. You know, we're happy about that, no doubt.
Now the defense, a huge part of the victory, sacking Elks quarterback Cody Fajardo 8 times and holding the Edmonton run game to just 25 yards.
We're definitely happy about it, man. It's one of those, we've been grinding week after week. I think guys have been rushing good. Guys have been getting wins, but, you know, sacks are kind of them things where sometimes it goes away, sometimes it doesn't. But I'm super proud of how we've been rushing. I'm super proud of how we've been rushing all year. So just for Conley to finally kind of come home, come together like that, I'm happy for the guys.
Saskatchewan moves to 6-1 on the year, ready to take on the first in the East Division Montreal Alouettes Saturday. Western Canadian Baseball League, the 2025 playoff teams are set in the East Division.
It's to the shift, but it's a right. Branningham will get the waiver out there. Rowe pumps it to third with Fox trying to stretch it. He gets to third. Now he gets up and making the play for home. By goes up to
the Regina Red Sox clinching their playoff spot Saturday night with a 6-3 win over Wayburn. Then on Sunday, the Sox beating the Beavers again, officially eliminating Wayburn from playoff contention and allowing Moose Jaw to earn their playoff berth. And cemented atop the division are the Saskatoon Berries, who are just 3 wins shy of breaking a league record. Matchup still yet to be decided, but the WCBL playoffs get underway August 6th.
The goal of owning a house continues to get harder to reach as prices on the prairies hit an all-time high. The details after the break.
Welcome back. We're going to take a look at your rural forecast heading into tomorrow. Same story as what we've been talking about in the full forecast for much of Saskatchewan. We'll see those temperatures within a couple of degrees of what our average is for this time of year. And mostly we will see clear conditions, a lot of sunshine, depending on where you are, though. The closer we get to the southern border, that will change. But let's take a look at what we can expect for most of the province. Again, the low 20s for the daytime high. Mainly sunny conditions for Melfort, Watrous, and sunny conditions also for Wynyard. And then again, primarily we'll be seeing a mix of sun and cloud as we will be seeing some activity coming in from Alberta, and areas like Assiniboia, Swift Current, Wayburn, Estevan, even Carlisle could see some rain tomorrow, but temperatures will still remain within a couple of degrees of average and right on the button for average temperatures. Maple Creek getting up to 26 tomorrow with a mix of sun and cloud, and Leader 25 degrees with a mix of sun and cloud. But if we take a closer look at Hepburn, where internet speeds up to 1 gig are available through SaskTel, located about 45 kilometers north of Saskatoon. No air quality warnings for the Hepburn area tomorrow, warming up to 22 degrees with mostly sunny conditions, and the winds anywhere between 10 to 20 kilometers an hour.
The incident happened on June 5th, 2025, between the hours of 10 to 11 a.m. A woman left her purse outside of her vehicle, and an unknown person took it, stealing a credit card to make several purchases at different locations throughout the city. There are 2 suspects noted from surveillance video that attempted to use the stolen credit card. The first suspect is a man described as a dark-skinned male with short dreads, approximately 35 years old, around 150 pounds, wearing a black button-up shirt, camo pants, a tan bucket hat, and light brown shoes. Suspect number 2 is a woman described at about 40 years old, red hair in a ponytail, light eyebrows, a black headband, blue hoodie, tan capris, and flip-flops.
I'm Constable Dana Adams with the Regina Police Service. Crime Stoppers will pay up to $2,000 cash reward for information on this or any other serious crime in Regina. Callers do not have to identify themselves. Calls are not traced or recorded. In Regina, Saskatchewan, and Canada, call Crime Stoppers at 1-800-222-TIPS. That's 1-800-222-8477. You can also access our website at www.reginacrimestoppers.ca. Remember, our community suffers when you remain silent. Please report crime.
Crime Stoppers is brought to you by Leak Audiology, helping you live well with better hearing.
Well, it's no secret the cost of living is on the rise across Canada, and Saskatchewan is not immune, but it's quite noticeable in the housing market, where homes in Saskatoon are hitting an all-time high. Hallie Mandrick explains.
A recent study shows that Saskatoon housing prices are among the most expensive in the prairies and gives a number of larger cities a run for their money. The Century 21 study measures housing costs by price per square foot and has a detached home in Saskatoon averaging $377 per square foot. which is more expensive than several larger Canadian cities. The price per square foot in that category currently falls higher than Edmonton and Winnipeg.
We have a lot more people moving into the province, and that's creating a demand, as you've seen over the last several years with our healthcare and our school systems. We just weren't ready for that many people to come to Saskatchewan, so we're playing catch up right now.
According to those in the industry, many new Canadians have been opting to move to the prairies due to the steeper prices in Canada's largest urban centres. The cost of a home has been steadily increasing in Saskatchewan since the COVID-19 pandemic, and Gary Bush with Century 21 says the growth of the economy within the province is encouraging many to put down roots.
We've got a lot of immigration coming in, a lot of jobs coming in here, BHP, etc. Some of the bigger products, our mining and oil exploration and stuff is still going strong. So we have jobs, we have high-paying jobs, and so we're getting a lot of people coming in here.
While Saskatoon housing prices are continuing to rise, they still remain on the more affordable side compared to Canada's largest urban centres. The most expensive being downtown Vancouver, where a condo will run you $12,006 a square foot. Hallie Mandrick, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Market boards, tough day for those. The TSX down just under 89 points to 27,405, while the Dow Jones down 64 points to 44,837. The dollar down 16 tenths of a cent to 72.80 against the U.S. greenback. Commodity front, gold down $22 to $3,314. West Texas Intermediate crude up $1.55 to $66.71. While Western Canadian Select crude goes down about $3 to $50.72. Gas in the Queen City staying the same, most commonly found at $1.39. Lowest you can find is $1.15.
Tolls across Confederation Bridge are being slashed. The bridge links PEI to New Brunswick. The Prime Minister announced that as of August 1st, the cost to cross will drop from over $50 to $20. Transport trucks will pay a flat $20 rate. The cost of some ferry services in eastern Canada will drop as well. The PEI Premier says he's been pushing for this for months, adding it will make life on the island much more affordable. Albertans have been saving more money than Canadians who live in other provinces and territories. Desjardins says between 2020 and 2023, they managed to put aside nearly 9% of their disposable income. That's compared to the average of under 4%. So how are they doing it? Albertans have higher disposable income and more affordable living. Celestica reported earnings today. The company designed and makes electronic components. It says second quarter revenue is up 21% over last year. That boost led to Celestica reevaluating revenue for the year, boosting its outlook to $11.5 billion. Those are your business headlines. I'm Marella Fernandez.
Stay with us. Here's what's coming up tonight on CTV, starting with American Ninja Warrior, Match Game, and just one Big Bang Theory this evening, followed by E-Talk at 10:30, and then national news and your local news at 11:30 with me. I'll be back, so don't worry about it.
Well, Beyonce capped off her Cowboy Carter tour in Las Vegas with some very special guests.
That's Destiny's Child reuniting on the stage with Michelle Williams and Kelly Rowland, joining Beyonce to play a medley of the group's biggest hits. It's the first time since Sabine was on the morning show. The three took the stage together. How long ago was that, Sabine?
Now I know why you asked me that question. It was, how long was it again? 8 years?
It would be 2018, I believe.
Yeah,
you
right?
told me.
Wait, that's not that. Did I do the math right? Yes.
That's close enough.
Close enough.
Jay-Z also performing at the show.
Which is a huge, that's a
big deal to people older than me. A medical miracle. The world's most premature baby has just turned 1 year old.
Nash has a spunky personality. He's always happy. You rarely see him cry.
Okay, that's sweet. Nash Keene was born at just 21 weeks and weighed only 283 grams. Doctors weren't sure he'd survive, but after 6 months, he beat the odds, and now he's officially in the Guinness World Record as the most premature baby to survive.
Well, that's all we got for this evening. So thank you so much. See you at 11:30. Have a great night, everyone.
Bye.